Demonstrators take to the Tennessee Capitol this morning to protest the expulsion of 3 Democratic lawmakers.
Giving you the up-to-date look at the weather in North Texas later in the show.
Spring is in full bloom, and so are these flowers. Bluebonnets and tulips galore. We have the story.
Broadcasting live from the University of North Texas, this is ntTV News at Noon.
Good afternoon. Thank you for joining ntTV News at Noon. I'm Piper Gifford.
And I'm April Pierdon.
Demonstrators have taken to the Tennessee Capitol this morning to protest the potential expulsion of 3 Democratic lawmakers. The Republican-controlled Tennessee House of Representatives is holding a vote this morning that will decide whether Representative Justin Jones, Gloria Johnson, and Justin J. Pearson will face expulsion within the reasoning being that, quote, knowingly and intentionally brought disorder and dishonor to the House of Representatives. Last week, when 3 lawmakers led chants in the House to bring gun reform in the wake of the Nashville shooting. Last week, Republican House leaders cut the mics off when the 3 representatives stood in front of the House to protest. Their solution? Use a megaphone. As of Thursday, the trio reportedly have lost ID access to the state capitol and have been stripped of any committee assignments. On one of the trio facing expulsion, Rep. Gloria Johnson says that this possible setback will not stop her in the least. In the wake of the mass shooting protest, Uvalde demonstrators held a walkout for gun reform yesterday. An investigation is underway after a mother of one of the Uvalde victims was shoved by a department safety trooper. CNN Lee Waldman reports.
I have my ID and I'm going to get my son out. Hey, don't get off of her. I have an ID.
This is the moment Ana Rodriguez was pushed out of Flores Elementary as she went to check her son out of school. She tells me before this video she had gone inside and yelled for her son to walk out. Rodriguez says she was forced out when he wasn't allowed out of the auditorium. That's when she went back, banged on the door, and showed her ID to check him out.
Son, if she can do that quietly, then let her go. Let her.
Ana, the mother of 10-year-old Maite Rodriguez, who was killed last May, now has bruises on her arm, but eventually she was able to get her son out of school.
Your daughter's murdered on school grounds. Then you talk to me, sir.
Before this video, we saw several parents doing the same as Ana, checking their kids out of school to participate in the National School Walkout. The district sent a notice to parents warning about the walkout and stating, quote, the students may gather in the courtyard or in the gyms depending on weather conditions and principal discretion, noting students wouldn't be allowed off school grounds. Students from across the district left their campuses anyway, marching to the downtown plaza and calling for change.
This shouldn't be something we have to worry about when we get out, when we're walking around, when we go to school. This shouldn't be something we have to worry about.
Many parents and siblings of the 21 victims stood with the students today, helping them to organize.
This is a picture of real flamingo.
Playing the voices of some of their loved ones as the students sat in the plaza for 77 minutes. The same amount of time it took for law enforcement to stop the shooter at Robb. Jackson Cross, family to victim Uzziah Garcia, says he was proud to be with the students who marched. He says now it's on lawmakers to stop the next school shooting.
You gotta raise the age to 21. Honestly, I don't think assault weapons or anything should be even allowed to be in the public.
Lee Waldman, KSAT 12 News.
Olin Gutierrez called on the EDPS to open the investigation to this incident. DPS has not yet responded for any further comment.
Just yesterday, a student at Carrollton Middle School was revived with Narcan after being found unresponsive. This is just one of the multiple overdoses that has occurred in North Texas school districts. DeWitt Perry Middle School staff and emergency personnel immediately took to the student's aid and administered Narcan to bring the students to a conscious state. It has not been confirmed whether fentanyl was to blame for the student's unconsciousness. DeWitt Perry Middle School parents have shared a letter detailing the incident and offering educational resources for fentanyl overdoses.
Presidential campaigns have been popping up across the nation, but there's one candidate's name who you might recognize. Robert F. Kennedy Jr. is the nephew of the late President John F. Kennedy. Kennedy Jr. has filed paperwork with the FEC to run for the Democratic nomination against the current president, Joe Biden. The 69-year-old environmental lawyer and anti-vax activist says his top priorities will be to end the corrupt merger between state and corporate power.
With Election Day coming up for Texas May elections, today is the last day to register to vote for the local elections happening May 6th. If you don't know how to register, visit Texas Secretary of State's website where you can download and fill out an application and mail it out to your county election office. How do you know if you are registered? You can check registration status on that same website by using a valid driver's license. So be sure to vote locally on May 6th. Senate approves drag restrictions in Texas. Find out why in a few.
And UNT is hosting their yearly drag show tonight. Find out where you can watch the event.
So, guys, we're going to go to weather just real quick. So I'm going to point out we've got our 60-degree weather coming in right now. We had a bit of a cold front in the temperatures. It does feel pretty cloudy outside, or it seems pretty cloudy outside, really. Feels cloudy, too, just because there are clouds out there. But it feels like 57. It's a little bit cooler. We've got winds. We had a little bit of a cold front come in with the rain that we had recently. So it just feels a little cooler than it is. As we move into tonight, you'll see that cooler than it is going to continue. 51 degrees, still going to be cloudy. Winds are going to stay about the same, 15 miles an hour instead of 14. So tonight is going to look a lot like today without the sun. But we don't have the sun either way. There's clouds outside. Tomorrow, though, still clouds. 62 degrees outside. It's going to get a little bit warmer. It's still going to feel pretty cool for April. But keep in mind that everything's about the same. After tomorrow, we're going to see these clouds start to push away. But we'll talk more about that later in the show. But for now, I'll let you guys get back to the desk.
No entry. All right. Let me see your voter registration card, please.
I'm not registered to vote.
No registration, no entry.
Dude, my friends are already in there.
No registration, no entry.
What the?
Join the club. Register to vote today.
I'm here to rescue you.
Oh, my friends.
No so fast.
This story is going to be awesome.
Pack your bags and get ready to book a flight. International travel is on the rise. A report from AAA says international travel is up over 200% since last year. Europe and Canada are the overall fan favorites, with Rome, Paris, Vancouver, and Dublin as the main destinations. London also has a 350% spike in travelers compared to 2022, but this rise in travel also means a rise in hotel bookings, an increase of more than 300% since last year. Higher demand for flights and hotels means higher airfares and room prices, but that doesn't seem to be stopping anyone from booking their trips. This morning, It was so cold. I don't know whether to walk out with a t-shirt or a jacket on.
It was super cloudy today, and well, we don't know what the rest of the weather is going to look like, but I know that Peter Rabel has more information on that. Peter, what do you got for us?
Thanks, guys. Yeah, it's a little weird today. It's the beginning of April, but it still kind of feels like it felt last month, just all over the place. Looking across North Texas right now, we've got like 60 degrees in Decatur and in Denton, but 58 in the middle there, or Graham, excuse me, 60 in Graham. 58 in Decatur. It's just a little bit all over the place right now. We got 59 in McKinney and 56 over in Sulphur Springs. So keep in mind, everything is about the same feel across the state here, across this area, but it's just different numbers. As we look at our larger map, though, you'll see 67 over in El Paso. So pretty warm over there. They didn't get hit with as much of a cold front as we did over the past week with the storm that came through. But 60 in Denton, 54 in Shreveport. So a little bit cooler as we head east, as we go south in Austin, 53, but 65 in Houston, so a little bit warmer. Just keep that in mind wherever you're going, but it does feel pretty nice outside no matter where you are. I do want to look at the 7-day forecast here, though, and just keep in mind we've got 62 and 68 here at the beginning of the week with the clouds, but as soon as the sun starts to come out, you're going to see 72 degrees. It's going to start picking up in temperature. You'll see that throughout the rest of the week as we look here. 72 on Sunday and Monday, and then 73 on Tuesday. We'll have our first sunny day in a while. And then on Wednesday and Thursday, that temperature is just going to keep increasing, 76 and 79 there. Won't hit 80, we're looking at in the next week, but it might feel like it once that sun comes out. There's that small chance of rain here at the end of our week, but as we head into next week, it's going to be pretty clear. It's going to just feel like sunny days. It's going to feel a little bit like spring, I think, in Texas here anyway. So that's all I have for your look at the weather. Back to you guys at the desk.
Thanks, Peter. Could drag race thing of the past in the state of Texas? A controversial bill is on its way to the Texas State House of Representatives after it was approved by the Senate. The bill restricts drag performers for young audiences. The bill now raises concerns for other public performances. CNN's Michael Addison tells us more about these concerns.
Front of children has drawn heated testimony, large demonstrations, and legislative squabbles, and now it's passed out of the Republican-controlled Senate. But advocates say it could have a large impact on the LGBTQ community.
The term prurient, meaning lewd or explicit, has legally been a challenge to define. A U.S. Supreme Court justice 60 years ago famously said he couldn't define a legal threshold for obscenity, but said, quote, "I know it when I see it." But Senate Bill 12 from Republican Brian Hughes, which would fine drag performers as much as $10,000 for a sexually oriented performance in front of children, revolves around the word prurient.
The courts have used it for a long time, lawyers and judges, and law enforcement knows what it means in this context.
But that brought up questions from advocates on exactly what makes a performance sexually oriented. Austin Democrat Sarah Eckhart asked if Shakespeare's plays like Twelfth Night, which revolve around cross-dressing, would fall under the bill. Or, as was asked in a public hearing last month, if Tony Award-winning musical Kinky Boots, which is specifically about a drag queen, could no longer be performed in Texas with children present.
I'm going to vote against this bill. But I appreciate your interest in protecting kids. I sure could use your support in protecting the kids that are killed by gun violence in this state.
Senator Gutierrez, I'm going to give you one more warning. That's the last time. Stick to the topic of the issues that you're asking questions on, or you will not be recognized in the future.
It's important to note this bill isn't an outright ban of drag performances. Rather, it restricts them to adult-only performances if they're sexually oriented, although it does ban drag appearances on public property if it's in front of children.
Record number of anti-LGBTQ bills have been introduced this year. At least 417 of them have been running through state legislatures across the U.S. just this year. According to the American Civil Liberties Union, that's a new record. That's already double than all of last year. The most common ones are about education and healthcare. It's another push at banning gender-affirming healthcare for transgender youth. There's also a strong focus on controlling public school curriculum, such as gender identity and sexuality. 24 bills have already been signed into law in 11 states so far. I think we have more from weather with Peter Rabel. Peter, what do you have for us?
So guys, we're just continuing that story about our stuff here. I just need the teleprompter to get back up to that for me. But I'm going to talk about, I believe UNT's drag show is coming out. The UNT Pride Alliance is hosting its very own drag show tonight from 7 to 9. The event features host Akira Chanel Davenport, a former contestant on RuPaul's Drag Race, and UNT student performers will be showcasing their talents. The event is held in the Emerald Ballroom at the University Union. Tickets are all already sold out, but there is a live stream happening in the Lyceum for those who want to see the show. Doors open at 6:15, and all seating is first come, first serve. I'll see you there.
It's Easter weekend. Find out what's going on in the nation's capital and right here in Denton.
And with Easter here, that means spring is here too. The spring flowers are in full bloom. We have the story after this.
Can I see your voter registration, please? All right, you're good. No registration, no entry. All right. Let me see your voter registration card, please.
I'm not registered to vote.
No registration, no entry.
Dude, my friends are already in there.
No registration, no entry.
What the?
Join the club. Register to vote today.
I'm here to rescue you.
Oh, my friends.
No so fast.
This story's going to be awesome.
World's first RSV vaccine for adults is in the works, and it's promising. Pfizer said they have asked for approval from the Food and Drug Administration. Researchers say trials have been producing, quote, exciting results in a trial for adults over 60. The vaccine prevented RSV associated with respiratory illness, including infections such as bronchitis and pneumonia. There were no major safety concerns present during the trials. Pfizer also said the vaccine was successful in late-stage pregnancy, and this could extend the protection on the newborn babies. The FDA's advisor committee voted in favor of approving the vaccine. The vaccine would become the world's first vaccination to prevent RSV.
We have some exclusive news straight from the White House. The famous White House Easter Bunny is getting a much-needed upgrade this year. President Joe Biden and First Lady Jill Biden are unveiling a new bunny mascot at the White House annual egg roll on Monday. Monday's debut will be the 143rd White House Easter egg roll. It's now the second year of the egg-ucation theme. The Braswell family farms are supplying 30,000 hard-boiled eggs for the celebration. The egg roll is one of the only times in the year when the White House lawn is open to the public. 30,000 visitors are expected to be there.
Denton's Easter extravaganza is back this spring. It will be held on Saturday, April 8th at the Quaker Town Park and Denton Civic Center. Families and friends are welcome to an egg extravaganza of bounce houses, food vendors, arts and crafts, face painting, balloon twisting, and an Easter egg hunt with over 40,000 eggs. Egg hunts are categorized by age groups and are scheduled at various times throughout the event between 9 a.m. to 11:30 a.m. Best of all, the Easter Bunny will be there for free photos. So come on out for a fun day of Easter celebration. Beautiful bluebonnets are blooming this spring all over Texas, and yet there are so many other flowers that are blossoming as well. The Dallas Arboretum and Botanical Garden is presenting their collection of blossoming flora right now with their Dallas Blooms event. Our ntTV reporter Mauricio Ortiz Segura checked out this event himself. Let's take a look.
Southern Living magazine as one of the best places to see stunning spring blossoms across the South, the Dallas Arboretum and Botanical Garden presents Dallas Blooms, the largest annual floral festival in the Southwest. The Spring Festival has an impressive and vibrant showcase that didn't just catch my eye, but also the eyes of some tourists from New York.
I think all the colors are just really nice because where we're from, it's not quite green there yet. So it's really nice to see some color in green.
Dallas Blooms has 100 varieties of spring bulbs, 500,000 spring blooming blossoms, thousands of azaleas, and hundreds of Japanese cherry trees. Along with the floral displays are statues from sculptor Gary Lee Price's collection, Great Contributors, which features the bronze likeness of historical figures such as Harriet Tubman, Mother Teresa, Joan of Arc, and more. You don't have to be Einstein to know that this festival is one that you can't miss. The celebration includes other highlights such as wine and beer pairings, tasting and cooking classes, book signings and speakers, and live music, which I was able to catch that afternoon. On top of all the activities offered during the festival, guests are also welcome to put down a picnic blanket and enjoy taking in the wonderful nature around them. They can have lunch, spend time with their families, or take in the sounds of the birds chirping. The festival runs until April 16th, and I'd recommend anyone to attend before it's over.
Texas Lottery Jackpot is underway. Get a Lotto Texas pay slip from your favorite Texas Lottery retailer or create a play using the Texas Lottery app. Each play costs $1 per play. Adding extra is $1 more. The Lotto Texas drawings are held every Monday, Wednesday, and Saturday evening at 10:12 p.m. Central Time. The estimated jackpot for Saturday, April 8th is $63.25 million. I dream of the day I win the lottery. What would you buy first if you won?
You know, I'd buy a really, really nice country house out in the mountains. And while Brendan's been smiling all morning like he's already won the lottery, what's got you so happy, Brendan?
Thanks, April. I'm overjoyed because we're in that rare time of the year where every major sport, but football, is in season. But that doesn't mean I can't look at the Cowboys' upcoming draft. More on that after the break.
All right, you're good. No registration, no entry. All right. Let me see your voter registration card, please.
I'm not registered to vote.
No registration, no entry.
Dude, my friends are already in there.
No registration, no entry.
What the?
Join the club. Register to vote today.
I'm here to rescue you.
Oh, my friends.
No so fast.
This story is going to be awesome.
The Cowboys kept a lot of the roster that got them to a 12-5 record last season. The same roster that ended Tom Brady's career. During free agency in the last month, they traded for Stephon Gilmore and Brandon Cooks to strengthen their weaknesses. To continue to build depth on the team, the Cowboys invited many potential rookies to their facilities. Some of the big names that visited so far that might be their first or second round picks include Zay Flowers, wide receiver for Boston College, Jalen Hyatt, wide receiver Tennessee, Zach Evans, running back Ole Miss, Josh Downs, wide receiver for UNC, and Steve Avila, offensive line from TCU. They will continue to invite players up until the draft on April 27th. Maybe this is the year Cowboys fans are finally right. Is this really their year? The NBA is less than a week from starting the playoffs. While the Eastern Conference is mostly locked in place, the West still has a lot of wiggle room for teams to move in and out of the play-in games. The current 5th-seeded LA Clippers are only 2 games ahead of the 9th-seeded Timberwolves. However, as close as the T-Wolves are to the 5 seed, they are just as close to the 11th-seed Mavericks, who are currently out of the play-in. Most teams have 2 to 3 games left, and for those neck-and-neck teams in the West, playoffs likely start for them today. Every game will determine whether you are in, play-in, or out for the year. Going back and looking at the Mavericks sitting at the 11 seeds, just 2 days ago, there were serious talks of the Mavericks shutting down Kyrie Irving and Luka Doncic for the last 3 games. Luka then responded saying, "When there is still a chance, I'm going to play." The Mavericks rallied behind those strong words last night and beat the 3rd-seeded Sacramento Kings. They are now tied with the 10-seed Thunder at 38 and 42. It looks unlikely that the Mavs will repeat their success from last year, but that doesn't mean they won't go down without a fight. That's it for sports. Back to you, Piper.
A deserted bunny has a new job at a California police department. His name is Percy, and he's a huge help for officers to unwind after a tough day's work.
At the Yuba City Police Department, the tulips are in full bloom, the sun is shining, spring has sprung. Literally.
Come here, buddy.
So much so, you might think the Easter Bunny came early. But this is no candy-toting holiday rabbit. This is Percy, or Officer Hops.
This idea came as kind of a joke, and it's really caught on.
After all, he's a bunny with a job to do.
I just love how soft he is. I think that's what I love the most.
His official title, Wellness Officer with the Yuba City Police Department, an outlet for stress for officers and staff who see a lot of bad.
Being able to hold him, pet him, and just kind of step back from that situation for a minute, regroup is vital.
A push department-wide for a focus on mental health came in 2022, and along came this therapeutic thumper. It all started when Officer Ashley Carson found him abandoned while on a call.
I started to call him, and I said, "Here, bud." And he came running up to me, and he stood on his hind legs, and I picked him up.
She took him to the animal shelter, and after a few weeks with no family found, department staffer Chelsea McCready adopted him and gave Percy not just a home, but an office.
He just hangs out in here. He kind of free roams.
Percy comes to work with Chelsea every day, even working some shifts too when she's not here.
We're seeing the long-term benefits of it already in even just a short amount of time.
A cop with hops.
He's a great little furry friend.
A bunny that doesn't come once a year.
I go in and see him every chance I get.
But daily to do an important job.
Piper, that bunny was so adorable.
I know, that was the first bunny officer I think I've ever seen. Well, thanks for watching ntTV News at Noon.
Join us again tonight at 6 here on North Texas Television.